and you can render it really quickly. So you create all of your settings ahead of time. So, yeah, it's funny. Okay, so like I could take this picture, and I will compositionally include Flora in this, but I'm not like centering her. Okay, and then what I can do, I took a picture of Flora, and she looks so pretty, and I can change this into some sort of different filter, and it happens very quickly. I can actually darken it, I can turn it to black and white. Looks good in black and white. So then I can put it on Facebook, click. We love us some floral. No, I'm not going to Flora. We love Flora.
Put it on your page, don't put it on my page.
Nope, I didn't tag you. And I'm going to share it. And so it's done. Okay? So what's nice is that she should show up fairly soon. I think. Soon. I don't see what's funny is I use Chrome, so
yeah, it's hard. Yes,
there she is.
there it is. Yeah,
She's instantly there. I could.
that's beautiful.
So, and isn't that great how it like totally blurred out? Anyway, sorry. See, so then I'll pay attention to stuff, not just of her, but also like the ghost of Dave Gray in the background.
And you can use it. You know, how do you use it to?
And oh,
there you go. Yeah.
Oh, and then this, Flora, that should be your profile picture.
That is so cool. Yeah.
So what I could do, Flora, can I do this, please? Can I tag you?
She's not saying no. So.
She's not saying no. So this will show up now on Flora's page.
Now it'll be on my page.
Yes, and people will say.
That's one of my pet peeves is people put stuff on my page and I don't want it.
Ah, yes, that's a how-to. But what I just did is I tagged you, and that's a beautiful, beautiful picture of you. But what's nice is that I can option. I think I can untag you.
Yep, delete this photo. You should be able to.
No, I want to keep it. She's pretty.
But doesn't Flora have a full page showing up on the page?
No.
You know what? That's actually, I think, a new. You can actually set that. You can
set
have
it
a
as a
setting that
setting.
you have to okay it before it actually happens.
Go ahead.
I know, Heidi, I don't notice you using the hashtags very much, but I found that to be incredibly helpful, and I didn't even know what a hashtag was until about 3 weeks ago, and Russ had to tell me my apprentice. But on the Instagram, which is a free app, and like getting back to those things, like is there a social network where I can put all my stuff? On Instagram, when you take that picture like she just did, you can start to describe your detail underneath it. The pound sign is now what's called the hashtag stuff. And after that, you can put search engine things into what you want it to be. Like if that was just a picture of an oil painting or something, it was a landscape, you could put landscape art, St. Cloud landscape art, you could tag your name in it, and if you tag your name in it, you can create your own little gallery. So on Instagram, now you search one of those hashtags, I want to see other oil paintings. So you click on oil paintings, and all of a sudden you get 63,000 pictures of oil paintings that you can now scroll through. But you can also use that to build your own online gallery. Like when I put up a picture of my tattoos, I'll put Brian Chef Tattoos or SarenArt.com, which is my own website. So if I click on SarenArt.com or somebody else does, boom, there's already 50 pictures of my tattoos. So I link it all together. And also what you can do is there's other apps that go along with Instagram, like some of the picture stitchers, which is incredible because like when I took pictures of stuff from my gallery, I would have to get it in for Mac, you have to get it in your iPhoto, take the photos you want, put it into Photoshop, add your text, resize it, whatever. Now there's programs or the little apps on there that you can use to put up your picture. You can add your text, you could add SarenArt.com to the picture. Within seconds, I don't have to spend the 6 hours a week preparing an online portfolio to put it on my MySpace or Facebook. You can do it within seconds on the phone. So now when somebody clicks on a picture, like if I search, I do a lot of skulls in my artwork. If I search skull art, my stuff comes up amongst other people's, but mine is the only one with my website attached to it. So instantly, just in the past couple of weeks, my website went from getting, a few dozen hits a week to like a couple hundred a day.
Mhm.
You can't pay for stuff like that, and that's a stupid free app on the phone that just came about. Like, how handy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's incredible.
And I think that's one thing that I think, we might be shifting more into general conversation right now, if that's all right. Because I think what the biggest frustration with things like social media is being aware of things like this. Talk to your friends who use their phones and find out what's out there. Sometimes I hate my phone, like the text that I get in the middle of the night asking what merit is for a grant report, or grant application. But at the same time, I sit there and go, this is so handy when I'm experiencing something. I mean, we're not talking revolution in Egypt, but we're talking about some cool art, some cool events that we're sitting there sharing instantly. But when it comes to the intimidation factor of what is this and why would I want to learn how to do it? And Instagram was something that I learned on my phone. So when I go to their webpage, I don't like their webpage, it's weird. But luckily I don't have to care. I don't care how Instagram handles its webpage because it's on my phone. It really only matters there and how it translates to the other social media sites that I decide to put it on. And I use primarily Facebook as my main. So
I think a huge thing is just open. Even if you think you might not like it, it's worth giving it a shot. Because when I saw some other tattoo artists, everybody on the planet using Instagram, all of a sudden on my Facebook page, I'm seeing all this Instagram stuff. I'm like, holy Christ, like another social platform.
right.
Screw it.
Yeah.
And I did it, and now, like I said, my website just started getting hundreds of hits per day over it, and I've only been using it for 6 months.
To give you an idea, this is something that we were talking about. I'm going to go into the Pinterest thing.
Yeah.
Okay, to give you an idea of the annoyance of new programs, the most annoying social media platform that I found was Pinterest. Mainly because you had to be invited, like it was some sort of clique.
Mhm.
I hated that. I was like, whatever, I don't need to be. But I really want to see that coat. And the only way you can get it is if you're, you have to figure out how to get into it. I still don't know how I got into it.
Yeah.
Somebody invited me and did this and that. And then like 3 weeks later I went, okay, fine. And I got accepted into the club. I don't understand that part and how that happened. But Pinterest to me, and this was such an interesting epiphany for me because I realized that Pinterest is clipping or stealing magazine articles out of the doctor's office when you know you really shouldn't do it. That's what I would say Pinterest is. Instagram is taking a Polaroid image and showing it to everybody you just walk down the street going, hi, look at what I got, look what I got. And look, if I tear it off of the surface and go like this, look what else I got, what I got, because you're like rendering stuff like in front of people. But
So here's that chunky bedspread that you want to make.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she's crocheting with her arms. Guess what I'm doing this picture? Could you imagine? Oh, I gotta go answer the phone. But what's so great is that you can click on that recipe, you can click on that crazy crocheting, and then you can
And it brings you to the
share
YouTube
it with
house.
somebody. You can repin it. So it's like taking an article and going, who did what I did? You'd cut out articles or ideas, put it into something else and think you were going to do it someday.
Those were called morgue files back when I was in college.
Well, good. Guess what? It's right there now. Oh, not on YouTube. But now it's on a digital file, so you don't have to clutter up your filing cabinet with a bunch of ideas you're never going to do.
You just need a bigger, large external hard drive on the side to take it off of there.
Yeah.
It's there.
Right. So what it is, though, what you think about, or this is the way I would look at it, is that you got to kind of spend some time to explore it, really consciously feel what you're doing. Like, go, is this something that is worth my time? I know that Pinterest, to me, makes me feel really lazy. Because they're doing such cool
It
stuff.
makes me feel like a really bad mom. Like,
I was who our friends or who we're following.
I was looking like on boards for like my son had a Scooby-Doo birthday party last weekend, and I wanted to be awesome, so I go on Pinterest and I was looking and I searched and there was this big board on Scooby-Doo birthday party, and I just felt like the worst mom ever because I mean it was just this incredible decor at these parties, but it's really good also for inspiration. So not only displaying your work and displaying work of the others that you like, but I do feel overwhelmed sometimes, but I also feel inspired to create after that too.
Right.
So it's another great tool for that.
And just as a trend that I'm picking up on, and I know that Visual Arts Minnesota might be interested in doing this at one point, but I noticed that there's a couple local online arts groups who are starting their own Pinterest account so that they're repinning artists from, say, Minnesota. I think Local Arts Interviews is starting to do it. And so they show up regularly. So there's like a day of the week where all of a sudden they're liking a bunch of stuff. But what they're doing is they're pinning, say, something from a regular site. I don't have the repin on this search engine, so. But what they're doing is going on, say, the Dan Monlack's page, looking at the big diamond lion, and saying repin because there's this little app that's built into the thing. And I think what's cool is that a person could see that. Either they could repin it, or they can actually go to his website and go, oh my gosh, it's a Minnesota artist, that's awesome. You know?
See, a lot of that's happening in the rock world. That's how I got connected to people in Arizona and Alaska. They were repinning groups like that, and then they were sending groups ahead to other people in the rock world.
It's really powerful.
Yeah.
It's really, really powerful. And so it's a great way to kind of expand your market, because this was an issue that was happening. You know, a huge group over there was talking about expanding markets. Exponentially are these tools.
Yeah, I mean, super exciting things can happen. People on the other side of the world can find your work on your Facebook page, and so I think it is worth, it is worth your time.
Dave M. to the checkout desk. Dave M. to the checkout desk.
Dave Glenn to the checkout desk? Or was that Dave M?
M.
Dave M.
And then
Nobody knows
say
I'm
we're
here.
closing.
You're famous.
So, there are a ton of platforms. I mean, there's as many social media platforms out there as there are college kids in their garages trying to figure out the next best thing, right? And so, but there's those that rise to the top. And in terms of for visual artists, my best advice, I'm not a visual artist, but I do a lot of work with social media and with organizations that are trying to sort of put themselves on the map, so to speak, is to just get in there and take a look around and start looking at, what you like about the way other people utilize it.
And what you
to
don't
be
like.
consistent. And what you don't like, yeah.
If you've got that friend, we'll use the term loosely, who's like a sob story, who's like, oh my god, nobody loves me. And then like they're schizo, so they like change their mind next day. You can hide them, you can do all sorts of things, or you can just kind of unfriend them, they won't know. But that's something where, you could sit there and go, do I want people to be seeing yourself like that? But you say, what do they want to see? But also be truthful. Don't sit there and put up a facade like, yeah, look at me, Because I've had friends like that too, where literally I heard their sob story just 5 minutes before they posted that everything's great. Literally they're probably posting it while they're talking to me about their sob story.
You can set up groups within that too, so that I have, all my family is together in one thing, so I know better. There's some stuff that shouldn't be posted to my family, so you just go into custom.
Yeah. Yeah. You can shift where that is.
You can definitely go.
I wish I would have had that tool about 5 years ago. So I have to still organize all mine. So
Yeah, you can go in and customize. Like if you're concerned about privacy in the different groups of people, you can create groups and go in and customize what it is that you want them to see, what kind of content. And unfortunately, we don't have time to go into that too far. But
no. But I do think though there's something to be said as far as flooding your friends with stuff. That's why I use like Instagram, because that kind of goes into a file. It just sort of files it off to the side. It may, pop up on Mitch's feed all of a sudden because he happens to be on at the same time that I post my image, whatever. And you can like it and whatever. I usually have the same likes for the people who are up at the same time as me. That's